My name's David Peacock. I'm the project manager of Launchpad. I work for Reality Check Systems, and we are proud to showcase this latest iteration of Launchpad here at the NAB Show 2015. Launchpad is our attempt to build an iPad application for broadcast. So it's a first screen service for football analysis, and we believe it's one of the best broadcast analysis tools for sports on the market today. It comes as a black box solution, so what that means is when we supply it, when we supply it to a client, the client's buying the black box service, and all they need to do is plug that box into power, put it into a touchscreen, put it onto the internet, and they're ready to go. We provide it fully skinned to match the client's look and feel, and we believe that that's one of the easiest ways to get the graphics to air straight away. There's no need for a creative services team. There's no complex broadcast IT problems. As soon as you've got an internet connection, you're getting data from the RCS data center and you're ready to go. So we've set up here the Bundesliga for the German audience, but you can see here the amount of leagues we have. We can go through multiple leagues across the world, including international tournaments and domestic leagues and cup competitions. Let's have a look at the Bundesliga, and we'll concentrate on this terrible defeat for Hamburg, which leaves them in terrible trouble at the bottom of the league. We can look at the match stats from this game, so we can see that even though they were at home, Hamburg only had 5 attempts on goal, and amazingly none on target, which is shocking. And we can look at individual player performance. So let's have a look at their so-called star player Van der Vaart compared to the equivalent player for Wolfsburg, De Bruyne. You can see that Van der Vaart's impact was really poor. It's only 64% successful pass rate, and he's symptomatic of the problems Hamburg have been having. From here, we have a fluid menu structure which allows you to look at formations or any other element from either the top menu or the sidebars. So here, for example, we can look at how the key players performed, or we can even add a ball to show how the game played out. And we have detailed match analysis tools supplied by Opta. So in this case, for example, we can look at the action areas to see that Wolfsburg dominated possession even though they were away from home. We can look at average positions. So we can see that Hamburg were very pushed back, Wolfsburg dominant up here. And we can compare the starting formation on paper with how the team performed in the match. We can also look at individual player performance. So if I look at the touch map for Hamburg, you can see the number of touches that they had in the game, although that proved fairly ineffective. And I can look at someone like Schürrle to see how he used the ball. We can also look at the pass map for Schürrle. And one of the tools we can do, which is really interesting, is to filter out sideways and backwards passes to show how a player actually contributed to the attacking prowess of his team. So if I click on this button here, you can see that Andre Schürrle in the whole game only played 2 passes forward. We can also look at attacking zones here to see where a team targeted its attacks. You can see that Wolfsburg attacked at the left-hand side consistently, and that was particularly true in the first half, where nearly half of their attacks were up the left-hand side. We can look at the current standings for the Bundesliga to see how they're doing. And one of the interesting features we've introduced for standings is a predictive element. We work closely with a team of analysts in Norway called Analytics. They've analysed every Premier League match, hundreds of thousands of events, to not only tell us what is happening, but to predict the outcome of what is going to happen. So if I go to this match day, for example, we are predicting that next week when Chelsea play Manchester United, there's a 54% chance that Chelsea is going to win that game. And that's a kind of great talking point because it allows you to engage with your guests and your viewers and predict what's going to happen. That also feeds into our social media integration because we have a really fast-to-air Twitter tool that allows you to harness, moderate and push tweets to the touchscreen in a matter of seconds. That means that in this case, for example, this tweet was sent yesterday after 57 minutes. Your producer can have it on air for your presenter to use 1 minute later. We have a couple of new video-based tools. So for example, our MultiView feature allows you to set up between 2 and 16 video inputs. They could be live matches going on right now, or they could be highlights feeds that you can trigger from EVS. It could even be a reporter, so you could have a two-way with a reporter at the ground. And this can be completely customized at the web end. So not only can you select the number of inputs that you have, but you can set up the labels, and it can be interfaced with data so the scores can change as you need it to. We've just integrated with libro for this show, and that will be rolled out to our clients in the next release. So you can see here that we use the power of the Libro tools to draw and telestrate on clips within the Launchpad application, so you don't have to go to separate post-produced clips. So for example, I'm controlling a Libro clip from here, and I can use the Libro tools to telestrate it all in perspective, all calibrated and tracked using the Libro data that we receive with the clips. And we can also draw areas, and because the tracking is integral to the clip, when I press play now, you can see the tracking is solid. And it knows exactly where they are on the pitch, and that's great for in-depth analysis. We developed a headlines feature which allows the user to create your own content on the web portal. So this means if you have a breaking news story like Gus Poyet sacked by Sunderland, you don't have to go to a manual graphic. You don't have to go away from your touchscreen piece. You can prepare that graphic in your web portal and have bespoke content in the screen. So I can scroll now. I can do a player profile, a leading goal scorer comparison, or even a simple list. So that could be a quotation or a newspaper headline. And this allows you to create bespoke content, not rely on the templated graphics that we also provide. We provide a lot of in-depth league information, so you can look at goals scored by teams or even goals scored by players, and you can highlight certain key players. And one of the other things that we've done, which we think is really helpful in terms of usability for presenters, is one of the challenges of using a touchscreen is it's quite difficult sometimes to listen to talkback, to talk to your guest, to look at the camera, and also to be touching the screen at the same time. So one of the things we've created is a bookmarks or playlist system, which allows the presenter to set up, perhaps in the commercial break or 5 minutes before on air, he can set up a page that he wants to go to at a later date. So let's say, for example, I want to look at the predicted formations for this match. I can set that up as a bookmark by adding it to my playlist here. And that means when I come back on air at the start of the show, I just click on here, and then I can go directly to my bookmark. And there it is. That takes a lot of stress away from the presenter because they know they're only ever one click away from being exactly where they need to be. And we can make it even easier for them by setting up a mode called bookmark mode, and that gives them a simple next and previous button so they can go through a playlist. So you can set up a playlist the night before in your hotel room using your iPad application. It will sync to the cloud when you come into work, and you can simply run through graphics as you see fit. So we think it's a really well thought out, in-depth tool that provides a huge array of in-depth analysis and data without making it really difficult to use. And we hope that it will be a great success for broadcasters around the world in the future.